Have you ever talked about how much you stink at something? Have you ever bragged about that? Like, I'm horrible about this and I'm horrible about that. I know we're really good about naming our strengths, bragging about what we're good about or what we're great at or how much I'm better than you or how much I'm better than that. But tonight we're going to be talking about the power of proximity. How the people that are around us make us stronger or make us weaker. And so let's watch this video that'll get us thinking about the power of proximity in our personal relationships. Tonight we're talking about the power of proximity. So the question I have for you is, what team have you been on before? What team have you been on before where you brought certain strengths to the team? Can somebody name some strengths that you brought to a team that you were on? Communication? Okay, that's good. I'm hearing all kinds of communication right now. Yeah. Anybody else? Any other strengths you brought to a team? Huh? Anybody? I mean, y'all play soccer. Some of y'all play football, basketball. What strengths do you bring to a team, Ethan? Skills. With a capital Z on the end. Skills. Yeah.
My height.
Your height. Okay.
I bring stacks.
All right. Yeah. Encouragement. Okay. Bring all that kind of stuff to a team. Yeah. Good grades. I wonder if somebody's going to say a great personality. Calming. What?
A great personality.
A great personality. Yeah. Is somebody going to say good looks next? Yeah, Brody, is that what you're going to say? Yeah. Good looks, yeah. So what weaknesses do you bring to a team? Do you know your weaknesses?
Too handsome.
Too handsome. Oh, yeah. Distract everybody, right? Everybody's staring at me the whole time. They're not playing the game. Anybody else?
Get to the point already.
I'm working on it. All right. So, yes.
Weaknesses that I brought? Donuts. Nobody can resist.
No one can resist a donut. Yeah. Well, we bring weaknesses and strengths. You got a weakness? Not paying attention. Man, I think a lot of us have issues with that. But yeah, we bring strengths and weaknesses. Whenever I played baseball, I was on a baseball team in high school, I had strengths and weaknesses. One of my weaknesses was I wasn't that fast. Somebody once told me that whenever I was trying to steal a base, whenever I was out there on base, when I was trying to steal a base, it was almost like I was a semi with multiple flat tires trying to get going. I said, once you got going pretty fast, but when you got started, you did not jump up the speed. So I didn't steal a whole lot of bases. What I was strong at was being tough. I had a coach that told me that whenever I came off that field, if I wasn't bleeding, I didn't try hard enough. And literally, nearly every game, I came off the field bleeding. Either I dove into a chain link fence. There was one game I dove into a chain link fence trying to catch a fly ball. I caught it. It hurt, but I caught it. I dove into a chain link fence. One time, the first baseman threw the ball over there to third, and I was trying to block it up, and it hit me right in the mouth. I was spitting out blood as I was throwing the baseball back to the pitcher's mound. There was another time I'm trying to tag somebody, and their metal spikes ended up going in my wrist, and ended up fracturing my wrist on that play. So there was multiple plays where I ended up hurting myself. I was tough. I mean, it was my job on third base to get in front of any ball that came down there, and it wasn't going to get past me. I would literally train myself. I would hit myself with baseballs to train myself to be ready, because I'm not going to get out of the way of anything that's coming down there. If I got to dive right in front of it, I was going to do it. I was going to take it. And so that was one of my strengths, was being tough. And the other strength I had was being vocal. I could get people pumped up. There's another thing that I was good at. So how do you think knowing your strengths and weaknesses can help you make better decisions? How do you think knowing your strengths and weaknesses can help you make better decisions? Ethan? How can you think knowing your strengths and weaknesses can help you make better decisions? I really look for the most laughing person and try to see if they can answer a question. Anybody? Yeah. Huh? You can learn from your mistakes. That's good. You either win or you learn. You never lose, right? So even whenever you make mistakes, you can learn from it. Yeah.
If you know what your strengths are, you know how you can help people.
Yeah. If you know what your strengths are, you know how you can help people. That's good. That's good. It might help you, one, to know what kind of career you want to have one day. If you're really good with numbers, you might want to do something with numbers, with math, accounting, or finance, or something like that. If you're really good with reading and writing, maybe you want to write something. Maybe you want to be an editor. Maybe you want to be something that has to do with reading and writing. Maybe you're really good at solving problems. Like you're really good. This is your strong area and you can help solve problems. Maybe some of you guys are going to be coaches one day, or maybe you're going to be teachers and you're going to have to figure out how to solve problems so that a student can win in the classroom, or maybe so your team can win on the field. So you can use these strengths and weaknesses to do that. So emotional fuel, what we're talking about tonight, is the desire and ability to keep moving forward. This is important for any person if they're going to keep growing. Any person, you can learn from them. I don't care who they are. I don't care how old they are. I don't care if they're a senior adult, and I don't care if they're a kid. You can learn something from them. Sometimes you learn something good from the folks that you're around. Sometimes you learn what not to do from the people that you see. But either way, you can always learn something from someone. I'm always learning stuff from people. That's what I love about getting different perspectives. We can learn from each other. I think the image that best represents this idea of emotional fuel and all this kind of stuff is the car. Because if you put the right fuel in a vehicle, you can go far. You put the wrong fuel in the vehicle, you can ruin it, where it'll never run again. You know, if instead of putting gasoline in your car, you went and put a water hose in it and filled it full of water, things aren't going to turn out very good. Right? If you put the wrong fuel in the tank, you're not going to go very far. You have to make sure that you're putting the right fuel in your tank so that you keep growing. So, tonight, the big idea is the company we keep can make us or break us. The company we keep can make us or break us. So how can we surround ourselves with people that make us instead of break us? Well, number one, if you have written down the big idea, the company we keep can make us or break us, our first point is, all people are valuable to God, but not all people add value to you. All people are valuable to God, but not all people add value to you. In verse 15 of Proverbs 27, it says, an endless dripping on a rainy day and a nagging wife are alike. What he's trying to, put in our minds is that this is annoying. If we were sitting here and it was completely quiet and we heard that faucet dripping out there, drip, 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 it would be annoying, right? There's all kinds of things and it mentions a nagging wife, like somebody that is constantly saying the same thing again and again and again and again, interrupting or whatever. It's annoying, right? So an endless dripping on a rainy day is supposed to give us a sensation of annoyance. Almost like a heckler in the crowd. Somebody that keeps saying, get on with it. Hurry it up. Why don't you stop? How many of you heard Elise saying some of that stuff whenever I was talking? That first time she did it, I wasn't expecting her to go that loud. And it kind of caught me off guard. But it really threw me off, right? And the same thing can happen with these people if we surround ourselves with people that have great weaknesses and we surround ourselves, they start dragging us down, get us distracted from where we're going. Kind of like I got distracted during the beginning of the message a while ago. And so what can we do to keep going in spite of these distractions in life? What do you think? What can we do to keep going? Even when we get distracted by a heckler or get distracted by folks that are weak in areas and potentially can drag us down. What can we do?
Learn
What's that? Talk to them? Oh, talk to God. Yeah, for sure. I'm telling you what, prayer is one of the best things to regain perspective. That's one of the things I think prayer is really good at, is whenever you're talking to God about life and what you're going through and what you're dealing with, you start to gain God's perspective of what's going on. You know? You start to see things a little bit differently. Like when you're in the heat of the moment, sometimes you make decisions that are horrible. Prayer is a good time to just sit back and really think about what would God want me to do, or how would He want me to respond to this situation. Anybody else? Like stay calm. This might be another thing. Like I was trying to stay calm whenever Elise was heckling a little bit. Get back focused. Like I was distracted for a minute, then I got back, looking at my notes and keep on going. I had something to focus on. All these things. I think one thing is setting boundaries. Setting boundaries, saying, these are the people, their values is who I want to surround myself with. One reason that you want to know your strengths and weaknesses is so that where you're weak, you can put people that are stronger than you. Remember Mr. Wade that spoke at United Weekend and that spoke on Sunday morning here? The reason I started hanging out with him is because I heard a chapel speaker say at my Bible college, if you know you're weak in an area, then you need to hang out with somebody that's stronger than you in that area, and they're going to strengthen you. I knew I struggled with evangelism. I struggled with sharing Jesus with people that didn't know Him, but I knew Wade was strong with that. I started hanging out with him. The first time I ever did a home visit and shared the gospel with somebody was with Wade. And the reason I hung out with him because I knew that he was going to push me. He was going to strengthen me if I did that. Think about somebody that you know is stronger than you that you would want to hang out with to be stronger. Think about where you might be weak and where someone else may be strong, where you want to hang out with that person so that they elevate you. Like for those who are athletes, you might be thinking whenever you're an athlete, what you do not want to do if you're an athlete is be on a team where everybody's worse than you. Because when you're on a team where everybody is not on the same level you are, what you end up doing is you end up not trying as hard. You're like, man, I can coast. I don't have to try very hard. I don't have to push myself. Why? Because you can play not as hard and still be great. But you're on a team that everybody's greater than you, then you really got to push it. Like, you got to be better in shape. You got to try harder. You got to be quicker. You got to make better decisions. You got to be why? Because if you're going to play with these guys, you got to elevate yourself, right? That's what strength, when you surround yourself with strength, that's what that does. So we also see in the Scripture, the one who controls her, talking about the nagging wife, controls the wind and grasps oil with his right hand. I don't know about you, but if you've ever tried to control the wind before, it's impossible. You can't do it. And so if you're thinking, well, you know what, I'm going to surround myself. I know these people are making bad decisions, and I know they're weak in several areas, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be strong in the midst of it. That is not going to happen. It's not going to happen. The reason I know it's not going to happen is because I say the same thing about Oreos or chocolate chip cookies, and whenever they're on my table and I walk by, strong is not how I describe myself. How I describe myself is, as long as no one sees me eat it, the calories don't count. And I grab it and I eat it anyway. You know, that is not good. That is not good, right? If the easiest thing is if the cookie wasn't even there. If the cookie wasn't there, I wouldn't even have the chance to reach over and grab it and eat it. And it's the same thing is true about the people you surround yourself with. If you're trying to say, I'm going to be strong and I'm going to make the right decisions, even though everybody else is making the wrong decisions, I promise you, none of us are strong enough. We can't do it. We got to surround ourselves with people of strength. So, have you ever experienced a situation where there was constant conflict or constant arguing? You know, like the dripping of the rain, like we were talking about earlier, or the dripping of a faucet, or the heckler over there in the side. Have you ever experienced a relationship like that that was just tough? How did you feel whenever you were experiencing that relationship? Anybody? How did you feel if you were a part of a relationship or been around people that were like that? Yeah.
Annoyed.
Annoyed? Yeah. Yeah. And whenever people are being annoying or acting like that, then it affects your mood, doesn't it? Yeah, for sure. Anybody else? Yes.
Like my feelings get hurt.
What's that?
My feelings get hurt.
Your feelings get hurt? Yeah. Yeah.
I was like really done with it, just tired of it.
You're really what?
Like tired of it.
Tired of it. Yeah, it wears you out, doesn't it? You know, I wrote down exhausted, drained, stressed, uncomfortable, not fun, lonely. You just list all this stuff. And so when you surround yourself with people of weakness instead of people of strength, it really drains you. That's why you need to surround yourself with strong people. Now, I'm not saying that we need to avoid anyone that's not following Jesus. I think those people need to be acquaintances, people that we're friendly with, that we'll chat with every now and then. But our closest people that are fortifying, that we're surrounding our life with, they need to be people of strength. So we need to recognize all people are valuable to God, but not all people add value to you. And secondly, you need to reinforce yourself with people of strength. You need to reinforce yourself with people of strength. Let's look at verse 17 of Proverbs 27. It says, iron sharpens iron. It gives us this picture. It gives us this picture of a blacksmith, and he is shaping metal. But he doesn't shape it with a feather. He doesn't shape it with a pillow. He doesn't shape it with something soft. What does he do? He has something that is equally or a greater strength than the metal that he's shaping, because that's what's going to shape that iron. If you are going to be shaped into a strong individual, you cannot surround yourself with people and have your closest friends be people of weakness. They got to be people of strength. Or you're not going to get stronger, you're going to get weaker. You need to think about how you can do that. It says, iron sharpens iron, as one person sharpens another. Whoever tends a fig tree will eat its fruit. You take care of the fig tree, you get to enjoy its fruit. You take care of your life by surrounding yourself with people of strength, you get to enjoy the benefits of getting stronger. You enjoy the benefits of getting stronger if you surround yourself with people of strength. And whoever looks after his master will be honored. And then it says in verse 19, as water reflects the face, so the heart reflects the person. You will see what you're going to become, and you are going to be shaped by the people you surround yourself with. You surround yourself with people of strength, you're going to see a reflection of somebody who is strong. That's what you're going to see coming out of your life. But if you surround yourself with people of weakness, you're going to see a person of weakness. You're just going to continually get weaker and weaker and weaker because of who you're surrounding yourself with. So, what should you do in response to this? In response to knowing that everybody's valuable to God, but not everybody adds value to you, and you need to surround yourself with people of strength, what you need to do is, I want you to write down your top 3 strengths. What are your top 3 strengths? You would say, these are the areas that I'm the strongest. If you might struggle with that, answer this question. What do others often compliment me on or recognize me for? What do others often compliment me on or recognize me for? That might give you an idea of what your strengths are. Write down your top 3 strengths. What do others compliment me on or recognize me for? Or you might write down, what comes easy to me. I mean, some things just might come so natural to you, like I'm really good at this. I mean, it's easy for me. It comes naturally to me. Write down your top 3 strengths. Secondly, I want you to write down your top 3 weaknesses. Write down your top 3 weaknesses. What tasks, the question you might ask whenever trying to discover your weaknesses, is what tasks or activities do I tend to avoid or procrastinate on? It might be things that you struggle with. It might be things that you're weak with. There are things that I'm weak on. I hate doing paperwork for receipts of things that I've spent. I don't like doing it. But just because you're weak at something doesn't mean you can avoid it altogether. I can't avoid it. I got to do it. If I buy something for the church, I got to keep a receipt. I got to fill out paperwork and I got to turn it in. I got to do it. I don't love it, but I'm not going to try to get a job where that's all I do all day. Because if I got a job where that's all I did all day, I would be losing my mind. I could not do that. I would just be losing. I would be looking for another job like crazy, like anything. I got to get away from this. But doing it a little bit, that's not too bad, right? That's not too bad. So write down your weaknesses, top 3 weaknesses. So what things do you avoid or you struggle with? So I want you to write next to your weaknesses, or at least next to one weakness, a person you know that is stronger in that area. Right next to one of your weaknesses, a person that you know is stronger in that area. That's stronger than you. And then I want you to write down a place where you can be around this person of strength. When is a time that you can be around this person of strength? You know, when can you hang out with them? When can you be around them? When can you talk to them? So that they raise your level of effort and make you stronger in that area where you may be weak. Because guess what? We all have weaknesses. We all have strengths. If I was strong in every area of my life, I wouldn't need a Converge team. If I was strong in every area of my life, if I was strong at everything, I wouldn't need a SALT team. I wouldn't need help, but I need help. Why? Because I have weaknesses. I have things that I can't see. We have blind spots, things that we overlook. And so our big idea for tonight, again, is the company we keep can make us or break us. So let's make sure that we're surrounding ourselves with people of strength that's raising our level and shaping us into people of strength. So whenever we look at our lives, when we look at the reflection of our lives, what we see are people of strength and not people of weakness.